everyone, this is Amna Salimi. I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe and you've been preparing for your exams. So today I wanted to share some tips with you which can help you successfully take your online exams. So most of you believe that online exams are easy because you have a chance to open your notes and your books and get every question right. But this is a very dangerous assumption to make, because these are not typical exam conditions. These exams are going to test a different skill set that you possess. Different competencies and capabilities of students will be tested by the examiner. They are basically going to test your analytical skills, your evaluation, your opinions, your judgment, and your critical analysis. They are going to examine you on the basis of knowledge that you have of each topic. They will also examine you according to the word limit that they have given you. So there are different ways to prepare for your exams, particularly these online exams. But the tips that I have to share today with you will make you perform exceptionally well in these online exams. So looking at the learning outcomes, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to, number one, prepare before your online exam. By this I mean that there are certain preparations that you should do, and you should do them right now beforehand and not wait for the exam day. Number two, you must gain knowledge of how to write high-scoring answers. High-scoring answers mean that there is everything which is required by the examiner in your answer and how to write a good answer, how to write an effective answer. Number three, I will make you understand what the examiner is looking for in your answers. What are they testing? What are they expecting you to write? Next, you should be aware of plagiarism, which is a hidden monster, and you can do that sometimes intentionally and mostly unintentionally. So you need to be aware of the parameters of plagiarism. Number five, you must know how to avoid it. How can you not plagiarize? Number six, you must learn how to manage your examination time, how to not go overboard, or how to complete your answers within the given time limit. Number seven, you must stay within the word limit. I will tell you how can you cut down your answers or reduce your word limit and stay within the word limit. So please watch this video till the end. So preparations before your online exam. First of all, you need to make sure that you are physically ready and well rested before the exam. So on your exam day, you should take a proper night's sleep and you should be very fresh mentally and physically. Number two, you should make sure that everyone in the family knows that you are taking an exam. If you are sharing space with somebody, some sibling or a friend, they should be aware of your exam time, your exam duration, the starting time and the ending time of your exam, so that nobody disturbs you. If you have kids in the house, they should also know, and the elders should know that nobody has to distract you or disturb you during your online exam. Because during these online exams, you will be your own invigilator and your own supervisor. So be very honest, prepared, and sincere with these exams. Number three, you must select a quiet place to take the exam where you will not be distracted and where there are no interruptions. Ideally, you should take the exam in your bedroom or your study room. This is because that is your comfort zone, and the more comfortable you will be, the better you will be able to perform in your exam. Next, you must know that the room temperature has to be appropriate. Why am I stressing on the room temperature is because it should not be very warm and not very cold. It should be according to your liking. This is because your comfort is very important. Silence, comfort, room temperature a good place to sit and take your exam. These are very important for you. Next, you must have a desk and a straight back chair. Also, make sure that you have enough space on your desk. You should have enough elbow space, enough room to organize your desk and keep everything that you require. This can also include any answer structures which can help you construct an answer. Ideally, I would not recommend you to use any notes and books because not just your precious time is going to be wasted, but you can also end up writing stuff which is not necessary, which is not required. So in order to avoid writing irrelevant things, don't use your books, don't use your guidebooks or any notes. But yes, you can have maps and answer structures which can aid to answer construction or answer writing. The most important thing that I want to say is that you should use a familiar computer. Use the computer on your exam day which you have already been using, which is your own personal computer, because you will be more comfortable using that and there will be no errors and mistakes or omissions. If you use a MacBook, it is ideal to use the same MacBook, and if you are using a Windows computer, then you should stick to that. You should not switch any PCs or any laptops because that can be problematic. With a new laptop or with a new computer you might not be familiar with, it can be problematic. It can have viruses or any software issues or anything which you don't want on your exam day. Next, you should also organize your desk. You should have everything which is required, any pen, paper, notebook, any answer structures, your laptop, its charger, a spare wire which can instantly access in case the battery runs out. Ideally, your laptop should be full with battery, it should be fully charged. Also, you must have water bottle or anything which you like, tea or coffee, which can keep you alert. You must be very vigilant while you're taking this exam. And you have to manage yourself properly because no one else can do that for you. Next, you must make sure that you check your computer thoroughly before the exam day. Do it now. Check for any problems with its software, with the Windows or Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office that you are using. You don't want any glitches, any faults, any disruptions on the exam day. So check it thoroughly beforehand. If you have problems with your internet connection, then you should contact your internet provider instantly today because you want to have an internet with good speed. Check your uploading speed, your downloading speed, and any faults, any problems, any disorder which there is, you should make sure that you remove it and you rectify it, you fix it. Put your phone away and turn off all distracting activities. This is very important. Don't use any instant messaging, WhatsApp, social media, Instagram, because that is going to distract you. I will share some important tips with you to write high scoring answers, how to write good answers, and what does a well written answer look like. So the first step towards writing a very good answer or a high scoring answer is to read your instructions very carefully and choose your questions wisely. Read your instructions twice or thrice, understand them well, and then select your questions. This is the first step which can help you write a brilliant answer. There might be any changes because these exams are different. These are online exams. These are not typical exams, as I have told you before. So you don't want to miss out on any important instruction that the examiner has to give. Number 2, befriend the rough draft. You won't get off track. This means that the draft that you have written, the answer structure which you have written, you should keep it with you and the pointers should be very clearly written. This will help you stay on track, stick to the point and avoid writing anything irrelevant. Next, you should pay attention to the trigger words or the command words like discuss, explain and compare. Discuss means that you will be discussing different scenarios and different concepts in your answer. There can be 3 to 5 different concepts which will form your debate or your discussion. Explain means that you have to thoroughly tell what a particular concept is about. Compare means that you should be comparing two different aspects or points, and you should write the pros and cons, the negatives and positives for those topics or for those questions. So be very careful with the command words. You want to know that what exactly you have to discuss in your answer. Next, you should keep answers very clear, concise, precise, and focused to answering the questions only. This will again help you to avoid writing anything which is not required by the question. Critically evaluate an argument. These are the advantages and disadvantages that you will be talking about if any question particularly asks you about critical evaluation. Give specific examples wherever possible and avoid generalizations. You should not give any general examples from daily life. Ideally, you should quote specific names and renowned organizations to back up your answer or your debate. Make sure that you use technical terminologies precisely and clearly explain what you mean. You should use all the technical and important terms from your subject, from your topics that you have studied. You should clearly explain any difficult terminology if you have written that. Next, you should make a good structure. This is a very important tip to write a high scoring answer. Your answer structure has to be with you. Even the answer that you are going to submit to the examiner should have a clear and brief introduction. It should explain the meaning of what you are going to discuss. In the main body of your answer, you must identify and critically discuss 3 to 5 different aspects or different dimensions of that particular chapter or topic. And you must end with a brief conclusion. In the conclusion, you can give your opinion, but your opinion still should be backed by evidence. Last but not the least, you should proofread your answers. This will help you rectify any errors, any mistakes you have done. If you have forgotten to write something, if you have omitted something, you can add that. But proofreading is the key to write high scoring answers. What are the examiners looking for in your answers? First of all, they will be testing the student's comprehension of the material covered. Whatever you have studied in your subjects, the topics that you have learned, they will be testing your knowledge, how well you are aware of different aspects in that particular topic. Next, a well-written answer with clarity, structure, showing personal insight and originality will be highly appreciated by the examiners. This means that your answer structure, your paragraphing, and your intellectual skills should reflect from your answer. There has to be creativity and originality in your answers. Rather than copying and plagiarizing sentences, lines, quotations, phrases, you should focus on developing your skills and your own answers, which can help you achieve what you want in these online exams. Examiners are expecting you to use the information and terminologies correctly. Whatever technical terms you will write in your exam, you must explain them. This is not just the key to write high scoring answers, but this is also what the examiner wants to see in your answer. A strong argument, logic, reasoning, individual thought and careful interpretation is required. They want to see the advantages and disadvantages of each dimension or each term that you cover in your answers. There has to be knowledge and logic behind your writing. Students' ability to use critical thinking skills and suitable theoretical analysis will be examined. your ability to critically think about one topic, to understand that each topic or each concept can have multiple dimensions. It can have negatives and positives, advantages and disadvantages. This will be examined by the examiner in your answers. So don't forget to touch every dimension, and not to forget that any terminologies that you will be using have to be explained. Understanding of key concepts and various methodologies will be needed. Every topic will have various key concepts and different methods and theories. So you must make sure that you have a good understanding of those theories and methods, and you are able to translate that in your own words, and you are able to explain that. You will be awarded marks based on the awareness of the topic. How aware you are of that topic, how much knowledge do you possess, how much readings you have done, how good you are at analyzing the different complexities, identifying them and explaining them. Good application of knowledge and theory is required by your answers and by your examiners. Now we will be talking about the hidden monster, which is plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Plagiarism is basically the act of presenting someone else's ideas and their work as your own, as if you have written that all by yourself. But that is second-hand information, and you are taking someone else's credit. This can occur accidentally if you have not referenced your work properly. So properly citing and referencing your work is very important, because you might end up plagiarizing unintentionally. Number 3, allowing others to copy your work or selling it is also plagiarism. Submitting the same or similar assignment multiple times. So if you have already submitted or uploaded any formative assessment, or you have taken any other online exam and you are resubmitting that exam or that write-up again in your final exams, this is also categorized as plagiarism. Copying something word to word but not using any quotation marks. If you are writing the beliefs or words of any scholar, philosopher or theorist, it is important that you use quotation marks, because those are not your own words, and that is also plagiarism. Using any concepts, ideas and facts without any reference and citation. If you do want to mention any factual information or any beliefs or ideas, you must give reference and citation. Paraphrasing but making nominal or minimal changes to a passage. This is very important. For example, you take a passage from Wikipedia and you paste it in your Word document, but you are not making any changes to it. The paraphrasing that you have done is very minimum. You have replaced hence with whereas. That is not paraphrasing. You are plagiarizing. You are copying somebody else's work. So it is better to understand that, interpret that information and write it in your own language and words. Copying patches from different sources and pasting them as your own work without citation. This means that even if you want to copy something or you want to add something to your answer, you should write and refer where did you get it from, which website did you take it from, when was it published, what was the date of publication, and who has written it. So how to avoid plagiarism? The key is to do a lot of reading and research. Read a lot of articles, case studies, textbooks, guidebooks and different notes. Watch videos on YouTube. Watch different lecture videos. This is going to add value to you as a person. This is going to add substance to your writings. And this is how you will not end up plagiarizing. It will help you add value to your writing. Number 2, always cite your source. Add a citation that states the full name and date when it was published. You should also mention the website that you have taken your source from. This is another way which can help you avoid plagiarism. You must use quotation marks around the text to denote that the words are not by you but by the original writer or theorist. Number 4, paraphrase. This means that you must rewrite the information in your own words without changing its meaning. Sometimes when you rephrase or when you paraphrase, you end up changing the core meaning of the topic or the sentence. So make sure that even if you paraphrase, you are not changing the original meaning of the sentence. Please don't copy from the internet and write your own assignments. Last, number 6, you should use a plagiarism detector or checker. So when you will be done with your answer, you can upload it to a plagiarism checker and you can identify how much your work is plagiarized, what is the percentage of plagiarism in your answer. Very famous tools to check plagiarism online are Grammarly, DupliChecker, and Plagiarism Detector. A common problem which the students are facing these days is of the word limit. Sometimes they get clueless how to avoid writing overboard and how to stay within the word limit. So now I will be sharing some tips with you which can help you stay within your word limit. Number 1, planning the write-up will help you avoid overwriting. So for each topic or each chapter, you must have pointers made which will help you know what to write and what not to write. Planning the write-up will help you avoid overwriting. So make your notes, make your answer structures, write the important pointers which you have to mention in your particular topic or your chapter, and that will help you stay within your word limit. Structure your essay and write each point as a new paragraph. Stick to the point by rechecking your outline. So you can reread or recheck the outline that you have written or the structure that you have made so that you can stick to the point and stay on track. Every point should support your discussion. Make sure that whatever you are writing is directly supporting your discussion or your question. You should keep a track of your word count as you write each paragraph. Next, you should reduce your word count after drafting your essay. So you can write the essay first, and even if you are going beyond your word limit, that is okay. You can reduce your word count afterwards. Make sure to get all your points written down before you trim it, because sometimes if you avoid writing some points, they might be important for that question. So don't miss on them. First write them and then reduce your word count or trim that document. You can replace phrases with single words. For example, at the same time are 4 words, but simultaneously is 1 word, but the meaning is the same. Also, it is clear that, again, these are 4 words, but if I change it to clearly, this is 1 word. So replacing phrases and writing single words can reduce your word count. So the last point is delete your words which don't change the meaning of your sentences. This means that words like actually, basically, literally, really, they don't change the meaning of what you are trying to explain. For example, he's actually a great teacher or he's a great teacher. Both the phrases are the same. So if I delete actually, I'm saving on 1 more word. I'm reducing 1 word from the word limit. So these are some ways, some tips which can help you reduce your word count. Another important lesson which I want to give you is how to manage your examination time. Because these are not typical examination conditions and these are online exams but still timed exams, you must know how to manage your time for each question and for each examination. First of all, time management plays a vital role in any exam. Don't waste your time on phone calls and messages. This is how you will be able to stay focused and not lose or waste precious time. Number 3, answer structures and pointers are your best friends. If you have your answer structures and pointers with you, they are going to save a lot of time because you won't end up looking in your books and thinking of what to write in your answer in the next paragraph. Divide your time between each question. Give yourself mini deadlines to stay on track. By mini deadlines, I mean that if you want to discuss each point, you should tell yourself that I will be writing this point or this paragraph in 10 minutes. I will take 15 minutes or 20 minutes to discuss one aspect. And when that time is over, you should move on to the next point. If you get stuck, reread the former paragraph to get unstuck. There can be a situation where you will get off track or you will forget some points or get stuck or don't know what to write next. So the best way is to go back and reread your former paragraph to remind yourself or to get unstuck. So even if you do get stuck, you should not panic. Drink some water, take a minute to practice your breathing and mind focusing exercise to remind yourself to stay easy and stay calm, stay composed and stay focused. Remember to dedicate time for proofreading your exam before submission. This is crucial. This is the key. This is very important that prior to submission you should have 2 to 3 hours in which you can proofread every answer that you have written and change, paraphrase or remove any errors and rectify that answer. In the end, keep an eye on the clock. You can set an alarm to notify you after each question or when you have limited time left. So this means that you can set mini alarms of 20 minutes, 30 minutes because they will keep you notified about how much time you have utilized and how much time is remaining. You should not forget to prepare before your final exam, before your online exam. Do the important preparations and the tips that we discussed. Number 2, you should do effective writing. There is no such thing as good writing or bad writing. There is only effective writing, and effective writing means that you are answering everything which is required by each topic, by each question, by every examination. Lesson 3 is avoiding plagiarism. I have told you about what is plagiarism and how you can avoid it. Number 4, you should stay within the word limit. Don't go overboard. They will not penalize you for a few words overboard, but ideally you should stay within the word limit because that is going to be prioritized by the examiner. Lesson 5 is managing your exam time very vigilantly and very efficiently. So good luck and all the best for your exams. I hope that this lesson and these tips will help you successfully take your online exams.